Hi, welcome to Sydney and welcome to Central Station here at Sydney. Now today's destination is down to Canberra. And the way we're going to get there, we're going to catch the 8:43 Opal service from here in Central out to Campbelltown. And from Campbelltown we're going to catch a diesel train which is going to take us down to Moss Vale. Now, that's all still in the Opal area, so we're going to use our Gold Seniors Pensioner Opal Cards from Central through to Moss Vale. So that'll cost us $2.50. And when we get to Moss Vale, we're going to have some lunch. And then we're going to catch a local bus from Moss Vale through to Bundanoon. And we get to Bundanoon, we'll have a quick look around Bundanoon. And then from Bundanoon, we're going to catch the Sydney to Canberra train. It stops at Bundanoon. And I booked our tickets a couple of days ago and they gave us Country Pensioner Excursion tickets and they cost just $2.50 from Bundanoon right through to Canberra. Anyway, the train's leaving very soon, so we better get down to platform 23 to catch it. Now the train we want is the Macarthur bound train, which leaves from platform 23. Now, of course, this train runs via the domestic and international airports. So if you're arriving from overseas or interstate or somewhere like that, and you're heading down to Canberra, well, you can do the same trip as I'm doing. As long as you haven't got too much luggage. That's the train we want. Platform 23, Macarthur in 11 minutes. You know, we've just had a heat wave for the last week or two. And today it's cooler, overcast, and there's been a little bit of rain overnight. But I noticed that everyone's wearing coats and jumpers, cardigans and everything. Everyone's all rugged up. I think it's probably around about 19 or 20 degrees. That's the train we want, Macarthur. Well, here it is now.
Central. If you're leaving the train at International, the doors will open on the left-hand side of this train.
Good morning customers, this is the Macarthur service. Next stop of this service will be Campbelltown.
Now if you get in the front carriage of the train that you've come from the city on, as soon as you arrive here in Campbelltown, there'll be another train waiting here. And this is the train which is going to take us down to Moss Vale.
The train on platform 4 goes to Moss Vale. First stop Macarthur, then Menangle Park, Menangle,
when you get off the train from the city, there's no need to tap off, tap on or anything like that. You just walk across the platform and get on the train bound for Moss Vale. Now, this is a weekday service from Campbelltown through to Moss Vale. Now, it'd be really good if this train ran down as far as Bundanoon, which is the start of the Country Pensioner Excursion area. So if this ran right down to Bundanoon, we wouldn't have to get off at Moss Vale and catch a local bus down there. But unfortunately it doesn't. This train terminates at Moss Vale. Terminating at Moss Vale's not too bad, because once we get to Moss Vale, we've got a bit over an hour where we can have some lunch before the bus leaves to take us down to Bundanoon. The beautiful old Picton signal box is still here. Great, thanks mate.
See you, have a good one.
Thank you.
Well, welcome to Moss Vale. Our Opal journey ends here. The train terminates here at Moss Vale, so I better not forget to tap off. This Moss Vale station, and of course the waiting room. Now we have to get up onto the street level. Footbridge.
Doors closing. Please mind the doors.
Nice. Now we could have caught a later train from Sydney, so this way by catching the earlier train we've got a bit over an hour to have some lunch and have a walk around Moss Vale. Now last time I was in Moss Vale, I had lunch at the Moss Vale Hotel just across the road here. But I think we might try somewhere different today. The bus leaves from just down here, just across the road from the station at the courthouse, which is just here. So it's 11:30, so we've got a fair bit of time to have some lunch. Now there's an information stand just out front of the courthouse. Now here's the bus we want. It's Berrima Buslines, bus number 813, and it leaves Moss Vale Courthouse at 5 minutes past 1, and it gets to Bundanoon at 1:30. That's Monday to Friday. Then once we get to Bundanoon, we'll catch the Sydney to Canberra train, and that arrives at Bundanoon just a little bit after 2 o'clock. Right now, let's see if we can find some lunch. Now there's fish and salad just here if you want something quick. And there's a bakery, I've been in there. They have nice pies. Now after much discussion, we've decided to just have a piece of fish next door to the Moss Vale Hotel. There's a fish shop. Now the fish available is sort of hake, barramundi, John Dory or flathead. This is only a little snack. I think we'll probably have something a bit more substantial when we get to Canberra. But I'm having a piece of hake and Chris is having a piece of flathead with some chips. Okay, here's my piece of hake. And Chris, what are you having, Chris? Flathead and chips. Oh, that was good. Good old fish and chips. I haven't had them for a while. So we've still got about a bit over half an hour before the bus leaves, so we'll take a bit of a wander around town. G'day mate, how you going?
I'm very well, thanks mate.
Here's the bus now, Bundanoon 813. Now, they don't accept Opal cards in this service. They do accept cash and credit cards. Actually, the fare was a little bit less than $2.50. It was only $2.10 because we're only going one way. It's going to take the bus about half an hour from Moss Vale through to Bundanoon. So once we get to Bundanoon, we'll have half an hour to have a look around town, or a little bit less than half an hour. Welcome to Bundanoon. Now this has got to be it's probably one of my favourite stations in the whole Opal Card area. Now the other one which I really like is Exeter, which is the next station down. That's a beautiful station. Okay, here it comes now. It's interesting that this train left Sydney at 11 minutes past 12 and its destination is Canberra, where we're going. And of course we left Sydney at 20 minutes or 17 minutes to 9. So we're taking us about 3.5 hours longer to get here. Three and a half hours longer, but we stopped off at Moss Vale, we stopped off at Bundanoon, had a look around. So oh, that's good.
Now, since we got a single fare from Moss Vale to Bundanoon, and the fare was only $2.10, so at the cost of the Opal fare from Sydney to Moss Vale was $2.50, $2.10 from Moss Vale to Bundanoon, and then this train we're on now, the Sydney to Canberra train. Since we got on at Bundanoon, we're getting off at Canberra. We're within the Country Pensioner Excursion zone. So the fare from Bundanoon to Canberra costs just $2.50. I got that using a seniors card and booking about less than 7 days before the train departed. I did the booking yesterday. So the cost was $7.10 from Sydney to Canberra, doing it this way. Now, of course, if you do it with a seniors card aboard the direct from Sydney through to Canberra, trip's about 8 hours. And I think it'll cost you about $45 or something like that if you're travelling with a seniors card. So by going at it my way, you're saving $38. Well, the way I look at it, it's a public transport challenge and a bit of fun.
please, ladies and gentlemen. The takeaway buffet is now closed for service. We thank you for your patronage throughout the journey today. Trust your journey's been a pleasant one. The buffet is now closed. Thank you.
Well, welcome to Canberra. Welcome to Kingston in Canberra, actually. Well, we left at 8:43 and arrived here at 4:13. So that's 7.5 hours. Now, if you had caught the train direct, it would have taken you 4 hours. Anyway, thanks very much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you again next week. Bye now.